Hello, I'm Loosemore and welcome to a review for the little card game Set. This is a game for 1 to 8 players that takes, what does it say, 20 minutes? Probably about right. I'm not going to go through how this works necessarily, I've done a separate video for that. Just like going through the 6 categories that I feel make up a game design, what I'm looking for, and go through the positives and negatives to see if this is a game that you might like. Now, this is a game I'd never heard of until I did the top 100 of last year with my brother. All those videos are up, so you can check those out. He talks about this game Set, which is a spotting game. So we'll start with mechanisms. That's the first thing here that I like to talk about. Spotting is not something that I like, I would say, typically. Things like Dobble or Snap, or those kind of things where you have to process very quickly. Do these things match? Do they fit whatever it is I'm looking for? Spotting as quickly as possible. That's the phrase we came up with. I don't know what the technical word would be, but that's what this is. And it's finding sets, so to some degree set collection, but it's more at a time. It's not like by building up a set you get stuff like typical set collection that I've spoken about before. This is just, as the game suggests, you're finding or spotting a set each time, and that's it, and at the end you count your cards. And this is a very tricky one that I've found to teach because of the cleverness of what it is you're looking for, what it is you are spotting. There are cards, usually 12 on the table, sometimes 15 if you're sucking. But 12 on the table, and they have, I'm always going to get this wrong, 4 characteristics, each with 3 possibilities, and within each one a set is 3 cards that within each category all things are the same or different. So their shapes are all the same or all different, not 2 of one, 1 of another. Their colour is all the same or all different. Their fill is all the same or all different, and the number of those shapes is all the same or all different. And that's the thing that makes this game, yes, a little bit hard to teach, but fun and better for me than things like Dobble, which I know are very popular, and I've enjoyed plays of Dobble. There's nothing wrong with those games, but they're just very fast, very frantic. And this, because you think it's going to be frantic, you find yourself going, oh no, a lot, and that's hilarious. But what you need to do really, and the more you get used to this game, the quicker you'll do it, is to go through kind of those categories logically or systematically, whichever word is the correct one for English, and go, are these things all the same? Okay, oh no, 2 of them are squiggles, okay, not that. And you go through that, marking it out, these 3 cards that my instinct says match or are a set, you figure those through and just figure it out. There's something about minus points in the rules. I've never quite figured out how to denote that on the table, so I just kind of skip that rule. So there's a mechanism I don't use. This is just for fun. So the mechanism's really simple, a little bit difficult to teach, but once you get your head round, create a lot of angst inside, which is a good kind of stress for me. Good kind of stress. Theme I talk about, there isn't one. This is entirely abstract. It's just shapes. It's just very boring shapes. There is no theme. This is entirely a statistical model, seemed to have been turned into a game. Similarly, art and graphic design, I usually talk about them separate, but there's not really anything to say with them. It's exactly what I've shown you, those white cards with those shapes on. They're very clear. I've not played with a colourblind person to know, and I always need to do my research that I never quite managed to get round to. I should, as to whether green, purple and red are ones that are easily distinguished between. But to me, they seem to be always the empty ones, the ones that are just lines, are always, you have to look a little bit closer, and maybe the lighting of your room that you're playing in might affect how easy it is to see. But shapes are super clear. Number, obviously super clear. Fill is super clear. Colour, as I say, that's the one where it might be a little bit more difficult, but it's worked so far. I think the purple and red in some lighting, I think we found has been the hardest to distinguish between, particularly, as I say, with those line shapes. But generally serviceable for what it is. It's not trying to be this big, beautiful landscape, so it doesn't need to have that kind of art, and it's more all graphic design than there being any art whatsoever. So I've thrown these in together to say they do the job the game sets out to do. And I don't know how to make it prettier, except maybe not just plain white cards, maybe having some kind of background might lift it a little bit, or at least on the back, I suppose, it's quite plain. Maybe you could make it look nicer, but I don't know how. Production, again, I've said this, and I don't mean this in a bad way. It's just a deck of cards. It's just cards. There's not much you can do right or wrong. Yes, you could do terrible, paper thin, easily bent cards. These aren't that. They're not the super high stock quality finished cards either. They do the job exceptionally well. That they're there. They do what they do. So the production, the box has an insert. It all just works. That's not what this game is about. It is about the mechanisms and how I think this game, or where I think this game excels, similar to other games I've spoken about before, is in terms of its audience. Yes, the mental curve of figuring out what qualifies as a set, what doesn't qualify as a set, is your biggest challenge, but one that no one has failed to get yet. In the various, I've taught this to quite a few people just in the short time that I've had it, in the ways that we've been allowed in the times that we're in. And yes, it might take a round or two, and I might, just for the sake of helping people, not help them and go, oh, have you seen that one? Because that's stupid, that's cheating. But I might sit back on one that I've seen and give them a bit more time to go through that process in their head, because, as I say, the more you get used to it, the better at this you get, the more your brain just clicks in and goes, yes, it's those three. And you go through that process quicker and quicker and quicker. And so for a new person, I'll slow my process down. But that thing that I mentioned about I found it, oh no, I haven't, oh no, it's not that one, is hilarious. And whether you're a very stoic internal person, you still get those little twitches I've seen on people's faces of going, oh no, not that one, oh no. Or you're a very animated, emotive person and you're physically reaching out and doing all this stuff and shouting and screaming and whatnot. It's a very controlled chaos, and therefore a very fun tension that's going on throughout. So this one just works for me. I will sit and play it on my own and kind of hate the world as I go, because statistically it tells me in the rules that I should be able to find sets, particularly if I can't and I add the 3 extra cards. It basically says it's very, 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 very unlikely that you will not find one. And I sit there, my brain melting, going, can I do it? 90% of the time I do go through it, but it takes me all that time. Whereas in a multiplayer game where you're kind of racing other people to spot this stuff, it's really helpful in some ways, because they will see something that then draws out new cards that completes the set that your brain was working on. So it's not, it kind of balances itself out as it goes. This is a really good one. If you can find it secondhand, I've not seen it new anywhere anymore. Maybe it's not in print, I'm not sure. I managed to find it secondhand. I would recommend doing the same if you like that kind of thing, and would work in the times that we are over a video call. As long as you have a camera set up on the board and you don't have terrible lag, which would be unfair, people can still shout it out and find the things. So it would work. I recommend it. This is Set. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that gives you an idea if it might be something that you're looking for, might be a little niche in your collection that you want to fill. So do all the usual things. If you like what I'm doing, subscribe, follow on social media, just search Winsome Loosemore, you'll find me. And I hope you're doing okay. I'm in a temporary place at the moment, moved in with my bubble for a bit. So thank you very much for watching. I've been Dieter for Win Some Loosemore. Take care. Bye.